part. So what's the status of information management in Australia and in the world? Because you've done the global research as well. How do you see it?
Well, when I look at how information assets are being managed, and I compare them with how the other assets are being managed, firstly and most importantly, boards, directors will ask to see the financial statements every single board meeting, every single month. Now, how often does a board ask to see the information reports? Never. They don't even know what it is. So how can they have a handle on the management of this critical business asset if they don't have an understanding of how badly it's being managed? If you take that down to the next level,
yep,
there is no such thing as a chief information officer. At least I've never met one. Chief information officers tend to be IT managers. They tend not to have somebody at very senior levels who are truly accountable for the quality of the data. We find that with a chief financial officer, as an example, that person will be sacked if he or she mismanages the money, and they will likely be jailed if they misappropriate it. Assets. So just like money, it's inappropriate to record expenditure in multiple places in the general ledger.
Of course, you want to have one source of truth.
There's one source of truth. There is absolutely no reason why we shouldn't be having one source of truth with information as well. And yet, those frameworks aren't being built. As an example, Loris, I was asked to present at the Governance Institute's annual conference last year. And I asked the question, how many of you people have some sort of information policy, a cyber policy, a records policy, whatever? Almost every hand went up. Round of applause, everybody happy. The next question was, how many of you work for an organisation in which that policy is diligently enforced with good behaviour rewarded and bad behaviour discouraged? And only 2 people put their hands up, and they're both from ICAC in Queensland.
There you go.
Right? So there is no imposition of and compliance with the fundamental tools by which we manage the information assets in our organisations. So the last part of this answer, Loris, is that if we know how. So let's say we have a physical asset like a truck. We buy a Kenworth for $1 million. Now, after 5 years, fully depreciated, the book value is 0, but the market value is the price that somebody's prepared to pay for a second-hand truck. So there's a cost to the asset, there's a value to the asset, but there's also benefit that's associated with that asset. So in the case of the truck, there's 15 years of productive life that's going to help generate income. Now, information assets are exactly the same. They have a cost, they have a value, and there is benefit associated with managing them well. I've never seen an organisation that understands the cost and the value and the benefit of their information assets. So when you ask me how well information assets are being managed globally,
pretty bad.
Not very well.